And welcome back to This Week. I'm pleased to be joined by Democratic State Senator from Nashville, former 5th District congressional candidate, now a candidate for mayor of Nashville, Heidi Campbell. Welcome.
Hey there.
Congratulations on the first poll. You're leading. The race is a long way to go, but congratulations on that. Nice showing.
Well, thank you. Thanks. We did a poll ourselves, but we were excited to see that we came up a little bit in this one. So.
You're in the fray. You're an elected official. You've run for office before. You know that it's a tough race out there. As one of the few Democrats in the state Senate, how do you decide I can better serve the people of Nashville running for mayor as opposed to being a state senator? How do you say, what tells you I'm the right person to lead Nashville at this point in time?
Yeah, so a few things. One is that, the communication between our state and Nashville hasn't been great, as you know. And I think it's important to have somebody in that seat who understands the dynamics, but also has the relationships to help Nashville going forward. And I have been able to pass over 80 pieces of legislation working with my colleagues across the aisle. And I have good relationships with them, and they know that my door is open. And the other thing is, I've been a mayor. And the skills that you have as a mayor are very different from the skills that you need as a legislator. And so I think that the experience that I have as a mayor and already working with the city of Nashville is very important going into this.
I wanted to follow up a little bit on that. It's kind of my second question. As mayor, if you win the election, what do you have to do to rebuild the burned bridge with the state so that the office of the mayor maintains its authority, the city council maintains its authority, the city of Nashville maintains its authority? Right now, it's a war going on. Both sides are at odds and doesn't seem to find a lot of common ground. Relationships are important, but how do you rebuild that bridge?
I was really glad to see today that Bill Lee actually made a point of making a statement that he wanted to improve relationships with Nashville, and that's wonderful. I think we should take him up on that. The answer to your question is communication. And communication as an entrepreneur and somebody who worked in the music business, as a singer-songwriter and somebody who was in a band, as somebody who was a mayor of a city, and frankly, as a mom, is something that is very innate to me. And I think it's important that we have somebody that not just tells people how things should go, but is able to listen. Because the fact of the matter is that you can wake up any morning and not know what you're going to deal with as a mayor, but you need to be able to find the answers. You may not have all the answers, but you need to know where to find them.
To be successful as a mayor, you have to have the trust of your administration, the trust of your cabinet, the trust of the voters. And as a politician, you know that voters aren't necessarily real thrilled with elected officials right now. So what do you tell voters that I'm going to come in office, you can trust me to act that's going to be the best for the city, the best for these citizens?
Yeah, I don't blame people. I'm also one of these people who doesn't necessarily trust politicians right now. As a matter of fact, when my sister started calling me a politician, I was mad at her. I said, I'm not a politician, and I guess I kind of had to cop to the fact that I am. But, my track record speaks for itself, and the fact that I'm endorsed by my colleagues, John Ray Clemens, Bo Mitchell, Bob Freeman, I think tells you that I've already built a lot of trust, and the fact that I have support across the aisle. I think that the way that you can prove that you're trustworthy is to build trust and to always tell the truth and always keep your word, and I have done that every single moment of my career and always will.
There's a lot of great things going on in Nashville, but Nashville has some difficulties: homelessness, crime increasing, need a mass transit deal, In your first year, let's just say you can fix or improve just one issue. What would be that top issue that you would attack first?
I think that people really want to address affordability. Affordability is a real problem. I grew up in Nashville, and it's upsetting to see that people I grew up with, especially people in the music business and people in the service industry, are priced out. So we have to make sure that we are taking care of Nashvillians. My campaign slogan is, are we building a place to visit or a place to live? And in the foreseeable future, we need to make sure that all of our energy is going towards helping Nashvillians. That does not preclude doing development deals or growth, but let's make sure that we're doing it with Nashville businesses and with Nashville workers, and that we're increasing people's income and making sure that they have affordable housing and, quality of life that every Nashvillian deserves.
And our conversation with Heidi Campbell, candidate for mayor of Nashville, continues after this. Stay with us. This week, we'll be right back. Welcome back to This Week in my conversation with Nashville mayoral candidate Heidi Campbell. The stadium deal's a done deal. It's going to be implemented as whoever the next mayor is. I'd like your opinion of, do you agree with the deal? Is it a better deal than we had before? And based on the deal, 5 years, maybe 10 years from now, Major League Baseball may be coming to town and they may be looking and say, hey, we want to build a stadium too. What's your thought on future development and the current deal?
It's not my job to adjudicate a deal that's already been made. Leadership is about meeting the moment and figuring out a way going forward to make sure that we're getting the best possible deal for Nashvillians. So that decision has already been made, and now we need to make sure that we're taking care of Nashville while we're
Should the city have any role in a future stadium? Should Major League Baseball come?
That's a question that I would have to look at all the details and analyze. I do think that we have not invested enough in the arts. I do also think that we have not invested enough in our neighborhoods and that there's so much inequity in our city. And so my focus going forward will be making sure that our neighborhoods and the people of Nashville are taken care of. And to some degree, that means making sure that these deals go through well. But I'm not particularly interested in focusing a lot of the energy right now on new big deals for sports stadiums.
Whoever wins will be the fourth mayor in 5 years, which is a lot. There's been some turmoil. How do you reestablish stability? The voters out there want some stability. What do you say to them that we're going to get this train back on the track and get it moving?
People are exhausted from voting and, having just gone through a congressional election, which in a lot of ways, this is an extension of the congressional for me. That was about defending Nashville when we were having representation taken away from us. This is about defending Nashville when we have, a hostile situation with the state. I think that it's important that people understand that there has been a significant shift recently with the Tennessee 3, with people's awareness about gun control regulations, and that there's more of an interest in participating in democracy, and it's not a spectator sport. So I know it's hard, but I really encourage people to get out there and vote, because this is really a big race, and as much as whoever we do elect for this position will significantly impact our future.
The new state funding formula for education will actually give Metro Nashville schools less money, because the money goes to the students, and every student that leaves takes that money with them. As mayor, how do you recoup that money, keep Metro School a viable minority-majority school system?
Yeah, we don't fully fund public education in this state, and education is the most important thing that we do in the mayor's office. So I believe that we need to have community school coordinators addressing the inequity, because a school like Glendale in my district is a phenomenal school, but it has a lot of parental support, and that helps it. Whereas there are other schools that really are barely getting by, and the outcomes are not as good, and we need to give some love to those schools. And community school coordinators are a great way to do that, because it's not necessarily that expensive, but we can build support around these schools through nonprofits, businesses, and churches in the area.
Metro Police Chief John Drake, I think, is doing a really good job. But crime is up, gun violence is up, teen violence with guns is up, stolen guns from cars. What do you do as mayor to help Chief Drake keep crime from getting out of control?
Chief Drake and his colleagues, first of all, mass respect for him, absolutely amazed by the job he does. Would come up to the legislature with his colleagues on a regular basis to ask us not to pass laws that made it easier for people to get assault weapons, and we did that anyway. So I think one thing that's important is to use the bully pulpit of the mayor to make sure that we message the fact that we have to have common sense gun regulations. And then the other thing we need to do is support our police. We need to support them with mental health experts, social workers. They shouldn't be expected to do those jobs. That's not what they're trained for. So we have a wonderful police force. I'm so proud of them. We need to support them, and we also need to make sure that we're addressing the root causes, which is that people are not doing well. I mean, for all kinds of reasons, affordability, mental health, and other things that we really do have to address.
We've got about 30 seconds or so left. What do you want to say to the people of Nashville about Heidi Campbell?
You know, the reason that I do this is because I love our city and because I've been defending Nashville in one way or another my entire career. True leadership is about meeting the moment, about meeting people where they are, not having all the answers, but knowing where to find them, and about making the world a better place for the people we serve. That's what I've always done, and that's what I promised to you in Nashville and to all of you out there that I'll do. My phone number is 615-438-6338. Call me if you'd like to talk about the race. I'd be happy to talk with you, and I ask you for your vote.
Heidi Campbell, mayoral candidate, thank you for your time and your insights. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.